What is going on, YouTube? This is your boy Ligo, one half of Enduro, and I want to do this quick little podcast, another WTF, because I saw some videos and just addressing it. Technically speaking, there will be two videos and going up. There's one game uploaded to tonight, another WTF, where I explained something about the whole Bethesda thing because I saw a couple of videos, and one of them including King Grimpachi saying stuff about the thing with Bethesda. I understand where he's coming from, but it's still a standard thing that if we want this gaming industry to flourish, we can't have that kind of attitude in a degree. But it is what it is. I'll leave it as that. You see in the video, you can comment on that if you want to comment on it. But I want to talk about this whole Nintendo console thing and the retro console thing. And as usual, people are going to say, well, Nintendo knows the supply and demand and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I would never get it. So for those who watch this video, again, I'm not going against, I'm just stating stuff that is objective and factual because as a person who does business and sell products, it is not as easy as a lot of people think it is, but I'll just have to give you, again, it's like one of those things that I said before, the video before with Bethesda, like I was saying, like, I'm a small channel. I'm not gonna, it's like I'm a small little voice just shouting out in a concert hall telling y'all, wow, there's a fire back here, there's a guy with a gun, and y'all don't listen, y'all want to listen to the music or whatever the performance, you just want to listen to them stuff while I'm saying something important. So those who come to the channel, listen to what I gotta say. Thank you. Those who don't and think it's a problem, hey, leave your comment and see what it is, but it is what it is. So let's just get into it. So the Nintendo Retro Console. Now I saw Terminator Juice video and then I see some other people and it always goes to kill me. I wonder if anybody ever asks this question. You would say, wow, supply and demand, people using money and how things work out with certain things. And it's a miracle. Wow, this game sold $2-3 million to make a lot of profit, or music, or movies, all that stuff. Do you understand and stuff? If gaming has a low threshold to be successful, I'll say that movies have a way low because the participation is just to pay your money to watch the movie. That part right there is the simplest form of getting money from that. Same thing with music. All you gotta do is listen to it. You ain't gonna do nothing else with it. But notice, like I said, 2 years ago, there was nobody hitting platinum, which is 1 million sold in America. There's the way I said it's a low threshold. As the last Census Bureau puts out, there are 340 million people in America. You could say about 70 million is basically like kids and babies, whatever, and then you got other people, kids and babies. We could put it that don't have this discretional income. But other than that, everybody else can buy what they want to buy. So that leaves about 270 million. But we are getting successful off of 1 million in most cases, not all. You will sell this and you get successful and make a lot of money off of 1 million. So it's a low threshold. 1 million out of 270 million people out there that has taste in music or in gaming or whatever. Right now, we have, again, over 45 million, 50 million, I could say by this time, but I'm not checking the numbers, but let's go with that. 50 million people who buy a PlayStation 4 and its different iterations and all that, blah, 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 whatever. But there are many games, but those games cannot match the rate of nothing closer to it or even to the Wii U. So it's weird how that dynamic works out. So I just want to set it up that we have a low threshold to make a lot of money. So people thinking that, okay, we should put out these products. Now, 90% of the time, There's outliers, there are offshoots, and that's why I will leave that 10% there. But 90% of the time, a company that sells product, or if the product line itself doesn't do well, is because they cannot match 100% supply with 100% demand. You can't do that. When you do that, you leave yourself for a lot of pitfall, because if the thing don't sell, you really screwed, and you lost a lot of money in R&D, lost a lot of money in shipping, a lot of money into stores, a lot of money into a lot of things. And people don't get that. They just think it's just simply, oh, let's put this here, let's do this here, and that should be no problem. It don't work that way. Okay, I'm going to address that. I've seen somebody commenting saying the River Audition. I went to 5 stores for the NES Mini, and they all sold out first thing in the morning. Okay. First of all, and this is a regional, that's why I say I'm objective in a lot of things. Okay, the River Ardain, sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, because right now I ain't got my glasses on. The River Ardain, what region are you in? Because in the region I am in, the southeast, basically typically in Central North Carolina, they had some pre-orders. They had people who walked into the store and got it. That's our region. I'm not saying you might not have that. That's what also next thing. The United States is so spread out. Is most of the stuff, most of the shipments of these things goes to New York, and California. Majority of the shipment goes to those. Yes, see, Kansas, the Midwest, no pre-orders. I understand that, and that's what I'm saying. That most of the because majority of the population is in New York, the Northeast, and Southwest of America. It kind of sucks that it don't trickle through the Midwest or the certain parts of the South or whatever. Texas might get also get a set of good shipment, and you didn't get the pre-orders. It's kind of messed up, and I could agree with you on that. Like I said, in North Carolina where I'm at, they had stores that they had Best Buys, and they had thing that did pre-orders. And the pre-orders is set up through basically the stores, because the stores don't want to keep. Stores do not want to keep stock. They don't want to keep stock that don't move, unless somebody's paying them to keep the stock there. I.e., that's one of the examples I was going to use again. Some people think that not Disney, it is, I'm going to say that, but like Skylanders is losing money for Activision. But you see, Activision is a gaming module all itself. It doesn't separate. They mix, mash, move money around, so they could minimate the law. Jeez. It's so sucky when you wake up and your mouth is not working the right way. Diminish the losses in it. They're losing money from that because of the overstock. They initially goes crazy when the new stuff comes out and demand dies, drops off a effing cliff after 3 months, and people don't buy that. And then a new toy comes out, a kid might like it, but it doesn't stay there. That's why when Disney Infinity with Avalanche Studios, that was their own thing, and it was centralized into their own thing. That's why they're shut down, because they had to keep on paying the stores for the stock. That people had the same problem as I just explained. And you go, and anybody y'all know, you go into any Best Buy, any Target, any Walmart, you see a wall of Disney Infinity stuff still there. Nobody picks it up. Shoot, you could take a count and come in next week. You could see that nobody picks up some of those toys. They don't push it. But you have to pay for the space in the store from Disney's point. That's why they shuttered Avalanche Studio. They were losing their butts on oversaturating the market. Again, I feel bad for people who didn't get the NS Mini. But then you have people also going to, like I'm going to show right now, talk about. Well, you know what? I ain't gonna show it yet. Let me get more of saying this. Like, I cannot debate. Here's something I learned from a lot of businessmen. If you have a product, the sweet spot for your product and for your company to make a lot of money and get peak performance is between 85 and 90%. You want that sweet spot of having that much product for the demand or that people's asking for. 80 to 90%. If you got your product in that situation, if there's about 10-50% of more people still asking for it, then you all they got to do is, wow, these people want it, let's ramp up production and give it to them. If it's not that, and you could stop production right there and say, okay, we lost a little bit on that, but we move it out, people have it, and then you basically keep it moving. That's what's going on. That's what you do as a business if you have a product. You do not want to match 100% to 100%. You don't. Because lately now, there's a lot of misleading factors that's going into this thing. You think, again, I'll be honest. I put a Nintendo in YouTube searches and stuff and Google. Basically, more than 50% of it is negative stuff. People saying this, people saying that, people saying this. You don't think they get the same thing too? Look at it. They just had a Wii U out of the 8th generation. They did a Wii U. The Wii U does things that the other consoles don't do. The Wii U does things that the gamers, and I'm not talking about the gamepad. I'm talking about like I could play my game day one without day one, no installs. Have the game right there. Have Nintendo's quality that this game runs the day I put it in my console when it comes out. But people don't oblige by that. They don't oblige by that. Nintendo is a name that has these games. You buy a Nintendo product for Nintendo games, but when you go to YouTube, what you hear a lot of people say, we want third-party games. We want third-party games. The perception is there that people think, oh, this is there, it's going to be something great, but then it doesn't back up in a lot of times in the money or in the talk. A lot of people do. Again, a quick example. A lot of people, I know a lot of YouTubers that could tell you right now that say, I will never play an always online game, but they have. I would never buy a broken game, but they have. I would never do this, but they done it. Saying the hypocrites. Hell, Richard Review Tech has a big video talking about. I'm not gonna talk about. He had a 30-minute video or something like 30-minute video talking about cussing out Activision, saying, "Oh, Infinite Warfare, you should not do this. Take Infinite Warfare and shove it up your ass and blah 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 whatever." Because it's sucky that you're using it to pigeonhole Modern Warfare remastered. But you know, at the end of the video, you know what he said? But you know what? You win. I'm gonna buy the game. So why even make the video? That kind of perception out there is ridiculous. The hypocrisy of what people do stuff like that. So when you have all these negative things that you could see on an initial search, why would I put out a lot of product and lose my ass out of it? That's why Nintendo. Look, I would give them that they did a stupid move with the Wii at the beginning, but look at the GameCube. Look at the GameCube. GameCube sold 22 million. 22 million. So they adjusted down for the supply and demand. And then they lost a lot of money in regard of potential money, not lost a lot of money. They made tons of money that generation, but they lost potential money because of what happened in the past and what they put out the product. And this was a special product that I'm going to bring up in my SG, my behind the scenes game thing that I'm working on for December. This was special product that third parties ask what keep on Yamamuchi asked third parties what you want in this system, and they asked it, and Nintendo gave it to them, and it still got stabbed in the back. Now you have the Wii that came out so great, had a phenomenon, had a lot of things that went for it. Free advertising was one of them. That's the major thing that happened. You have Ellen, Oprah, MSNBC, Today America, all those guys were getting free advertisement for the Wii. So that worked out. A lot of people bought it. But the Wii U, they had a certain amount. They sold out initial shipments of the Wii U with 3 million the first month, which is pretty cool. But they thought they could sell 100 million Wii U. I can't default Nintendo for that because the Wii sold 110, so they thought, okay, whatever. But look, it didn't happen, and they fall way short of it. Now, that doesn't mean that they didn't make money off of it, because people always think stupidly and think, oh, they only sold 13, 14 million Wii U's. Yeah, but the potential profit margin is way more than the GameCube ever was, because the GameCube only could sell you physical disc games, while the Wii U could sell you a virtual console and online downloads of games and indie games. The potential is way more. If you take that potential margin with the GameCube, it's like the Wii U sold about 30 million of those consoles. 30, maybe 40 million of those consoles. But that's a different thing. That's a different thing of its own. But that's a different thing of its own. But I'm trying to point out that's the ridiculous of, you do not want to go over the thing. Look at Microsoft. Microsoft sold 80 million initially, and they keep on going. Don't get me wrong, but it sold 80 million at the end of their run for the 360. They thought they could sell. They were so arrogant that they thought they could sell 200 million. 200 million Xbox One. What would make you think that? That was crazy. I could see you saying, okay, I could sell 100 million, but 200 million? That's ridiculous. And I bet you that's what they said to their the investors and stuff. And look, again, they fell way short. The Xbox division lost a ton of money, and we've seen what's going on with the Xbox division now. That's the thing that kills me the most. And as Brother Kakashi just bring up, everybody was angry about the amiibos. Now Nintendo has restocked a lot of the amiibos that the initial runs for other people. You go out there and you can see a lot of articles about this. But right now, amiibo's not the hot thing no more. Right now, you can pick up stuff without no problem. And again, I remember Avalanche Studio last year was cocky and said, "Wow, we don't do what Nintendo does. We give you the figurines or whatever." They were cocky. They were saying, "We don't want to do what Nintendo does." And I was one of the only few people, I would say, I can't say I'm the only one, but a few people who said, "Yeah, but I look into your numbers and you oversaturating the market." And anybody could tell you that I've said that on my podcast twice. And of course, when he shut down, I said it again. But before, when they were getting cocky, I said that. Did anybody not see that it's weird that now they talk that mess and that company got shut down? Does that's not weird to people? Again, I just explained to you the sweet spot for products. Now, and if you have something, people say, "Oh well, Nintendo needs to build up stock, blah blah blah, because of what do you call it? Stock." I'll say this to you, just like when the Wii came out, the River Ardeen. Just wait. Have patience, man. Just have patience. You have Black Friday, you have Christmas coming up. Keep your eyes out and do not buy from scalpers. People say, "Oh, the scalper." No, it's not. It's not Nintendo for scalpers. It is. It's called supply. They have their own setup to do supply and demand because they charge stuff that's ridiculous, as I'm going to be pointing out right here. This is eBay right here. All right. Yeah, there you go. The River Ardeen just said eBay had one selling for $700. They got one right now. People are trying to buy it now for $3,000. Are you serious? Yes, ridiculous. Yes, you can see on the screen, 115. Don't do it. There's gonna be more stock coming through. You have Black Friday coming out. You have Christmas coming out, and if you are, and again, you're playing games that's old that you could buy on a virtual console. If you want a console for its own thing, trust me, it's not gonna kill you to. Excuse me. It's not gonna continue to wait until maybe January after Christmas when the supply demand is knocked down. I've done that many a time when I've seen stuff like, Specifically, I'll be honest with you, ladies. I have a specific credit card I have. Oops, sorry. I have a specific credit card I have that does something called Price Rewind. That gives me 90 days. That if I buy a product within 90 days, if that price drops, I get the price for that difference. I had a problem with a washing machine. I bought a washing machine and dryer. That was 200 and a washing and dryer combo, very well, blah blah blah. It was $2,500, $2,600 for it. But because the prices dropped after when I came to Labor Day and everything, I bought it in August. Labor Day came, they dropped the price down to $1,100. You know what they did? They gave me back my money. That's when I do help anybody out. It's basically, you have to have great credit for this card. It's called the Cinity Diamond Preferred Card. Give it so you could check it out. But I have a confidence that I know the price is going to drop. But again, I could have waited if I didn't have that card. My point was I would have waited to see, what is going to happen in Labor Day? Oh, they dropped the price to $1,100. Let me buy it then. Wait for sales. Wait for the demands to drop off in gaming, as we see. As again, a lot of third-party games that comes out within the third month. They're back in GameStop. They're back on GameStop, on eBay, on Amazon.com for a half or a third of what the game really costs. Don't buy into these scalpers. After after January, you get the game and do this and get your console. So just wait a while. I'll give you another example. Let me see if I could. I'll give you another example of this kind of stuff I'm talking about. Because Brani Tatashi brought up a great example talking about how the Nintendo Switch is gonna need to sell 2 million, blah 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 stuff. It's gonna sell it, but the thing is, again, is how it works out. They gotta sell 2 million worldwide. They're gonna do it, but they know each region has a specific way of selling, so they gotta do it that way. Again, I'm not pre-ordering the Nintendo Switch. I'll wait to see more information January the 12th. But if I don't, there are going to be some ports on the system. It's guaranteed. I've said it for almost a year now. There's going to be ports on the system because of how it's set up. There's some games I will buy that's reported. There's some games I won't. But if I don't see that, other than that Mario 3D the Mario 3D game that Shigeru Moto said, and something else that sparked me, I ain't gonna buy the NES, the Nintendo Switch. That's me. That's just me saying that. I'll wait, and it might be a long time before I get the console. But I have over 50 games on my Wii U to play, and 3DS tons more. So I could wait. I don't need that initial rush to get this stuff. I'm not that kind of person. So maybe I'm basically forecasting my patience to other people. And I could be wrong with that, but again, yeah. Now I will say, listen to Terminator Joe's video, and I agree with him and Mr. T that when it comes to games, special games and all that stuff, Nintendo should do they have a website, the Nintendo World Store. They should have a pre-order set up for that. But product like a console, you got to do parts and stuff like that. It's up to the stores who want to do that. And Nintendo did have a setup for their on their store, and they fulfilled their setup on the store for people who wanted it. So they did what it's supposed to do. But the stores, again, some stores did pre-orders, some stores didn't. As you just heard, I just reading the chat and see that River Ardain just said that. And it's kind of depending on where you at, where the market's at. And again, anytime anything sells, no matter what, New York and California are the dead spots. Not dead spots, my wrong, I used the wrong way. Are the peak spots for any product. 90% of the time. If you got to be shipped, if you got to be whatever because of the population growth in those. But let me show you the next thing, as you can see on the screen. Let me show you the next thing before I let me go. Gotta get something to drink and get back to sleep. But right there is a phone that I'm looking for. It's called a Zenfone Deluxe Zenfone 3. I have the Zenfone 2. I'm gonna upgrade to that phone. This phone came out in October. Now you go to the store, you go to here. They had pre-orders. They had pre-orders. You go to the website, which I'm on Asus website right now to buy the stuff. You have to wait because it's sold out. Right now, as you can see on the screen right now. These are the things that's happening right here. The Zenfone in the US models update. Oops. They're sold out. They're sold out. People want this thing. They're sold out. I'm gonna wait. I'm not pushing them because I ain't gonna wait. I'm not gonna spend crazy amount of money for that. Now, see right here the initial cost. $799 for the real deluxe crazy version, $499 for the regular deluxe version. And they have different version of the phone. That you saw the price. Those are the initial prices of those things. The deluxe, as you go to Asus website, the deluxe of the phone is $399. The deluxe, the regular one, not especially the $399. Look what the deluxe is going on right now in Amazon and Best Buy, $530. The stores are scalping people because they don't know the initial sell product and everything, and they had a pre-order on the website to get people to buy the pre-orders. That's one of the things I'm trying to explain. It's not as easy as people think it's gonna be a one-to-one thing. You can't do that. I could give you other example. I could give you a car example. I could give you other example. I'm just because, like I said, I'm trying to cut it short. But that's my point where I say that. Now stores are doing that to you. This is what happens. You don't have this is what happens as a business. You got to take it all those different. It's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. It's not that way. Oh, you do this, you do that, you do this, you get that product. No, you don't. You do not do that. You have a supply and demand, yes, but you do not match 100% supply with 100% demand. You don't do that. That is because, again, if your product don't take off, that could be your death nail for a small company, and that could be the downfall of a big company. And that could be the death nail of a company that just started because they think people want it and get messed up on it. You gotta, and like I said, same thing with Asus with their phone. Like I just gave you an example right there. They're making the product as fast as they can. You got a pre-order. They saw the demand for it. They demand for it. They try their best to match it, but they ain't gonna match it 100% still because we don't until the product drops and a lot of reviews comes out and people say, "Oh, this is a crappy phone," blah blah blah, whatever. But luckily, a lot of the phones say, "Wow, you know what? This is a decent phone." They didn't say great. This is a decent phone. It does what it does. It's the first phone to have a lot of features that not even Samsung Galaxy and iPhone 7 have. They have a lot of features in it. The first phone that has 256 gigabyte memory internally. and using 6 gigs of RAM for their phone. The first phone that did that never hit the market. It was the first phone that did 4 gigabytes of RAM when the Zenfone 2, which I had when it first came out. But it's not the name brand like an iPhone or Samsung or whatever. People go with the name brand. That's cool. But when people got the review and said, this is a decent phone, it does what it's supposed to do. It's not a market phone like an iPhone killer or Samsung killer, but it does just enough stuff to do it, to be up there with that. And of course, these are phones that you buy unlocked, so you're gonna have to pay the initial cost up front. Unlike with people's, these companies like Sprint, Verizon, all that stuff, they do the whole stuff through a contract and everything. But now that the reviews come out, people say it's a good phone, it's a solid phone. If you want to buy this phone, I won't begrudge you to get it. It does this, it does that. People look at the reviews on YouTube and everything, CNN and all that stuff, and now they got an initial supply, demand to come like, oh wow, this is a good phone, I want that. I'm not gonna pay no $400 for that, $550 for that phone. Speaking, I'm looking at it to pick up that same phone for about $380 to $250, depending on which version I want. But again, I did my research. I look around. I'm not paying Amazon or Best Buy for it. That's an example again. But just wait. You're gonna get the game. I wouldn't begrudge Sony or Microsoft. It was the same thing, because when Sony had a supply and demand problem with the PlayStation 3 at the initial beginning, I didn't see no people bitching and making videos about that. I could be wrong. I'm not gonna say there won't videos about that, but not from the big YouTubers and everything you put in a search bar. It won't. When the PlayStation 4 Special Edition come out, I didn't see nobody make no damn problems about that either. With the great PlayStation 20th anniversary, did it have scalping? Yes, but did anybody make super videos about that? No. So it's just weird how that dynamic works out, and that works for good or bad. But again, I just can't. I put objectivity in what I said to things. They say Nintendo wants to make money off Breath of Fire while in the Wii U version. If they produce more Nintendo Switches, they will get the Switch version and ignore the Wii U version. Not really, Brownie. I mean, the game has its own SKU, but Nintendo, the one thing Nintendo does, which I've said many times before when I was over there and the thing, they budget the game name itself. So if there's a game itself, so the Breath of the Wild has its own budget, and they're going to reflect that budget. They separate the game budget out by itself. They don't say this game budget. They don't do, like I said, the same thing I said about how Activision do by diminishing loss by switching money around like that. So they know they know a certain amount of Wii U Breath of the Wild Wii U games going to sell, and then they have more motion. The Wii U version going to sell just as much as the Switch. If the Switch got to do 3 million at first, whatever, and people want to get it, then they're gonna get a higher number. But if they could sell 250 to 500,000 of the Wii U version, they're gonna do it. Let me see. NX Classics being worth 100 on eBay. No, sorry. NX Classics being worth 100 on eBay is like the Amiibos all over again when they first came out. Yep, I shake my head. I said the same thing, Sprite. I think it just came in later on about what I just said about that, and Brownie said it as well too. I said at the beginning, and I was lucky to get one yesterday morning. Well, you were one of the lucky ones. And again, I know you was one. You broadcasting, you playing it. I know people who pre-ordered it and got it from Best Buy. I know people who walked in the store and picked it up. It's too much. I cannot deny, like I said, I cannot deny the River Arden's his experience that he couldn't find it. He live in the Midwest where the products do not go that easy in that regard, and I feel for you, bro. I really do. That is kind of messed up. If you wanted it, you're gonna have that. But me coming from a different country, or maybe me looking at stuff, I see that the Midwest gets short thrift on a lot of stuff, which sucks. And people just pay attention to the East Coast and the West Coast, majority of it. Shit, we saw that in the elections. But I'm just saying that. Sprite just said it was first come, first serve at GameSpot. Hey, it is what it was. It was the same thing with the Wii when it first came out. First come, first serve. But again, it's one of those things that happen like that. So it is what it is. I explained it out. Like I said, my voice is getting itchy. I need something to drink right now. I'm going to go back and get some sleep. Anybody who's normally, it's between 11 to 11:15 because I'm going to get some sleep. 11 to 15, the link should go up. If you want an off-air chat that we do every Saturday, you know where to find it. It will be sent to you privately once you say you want to be a part of the crew. Go ahead. And we talk about stuff as usual. But so we could talk more about this with that on the off-air chat. But right now, people, again, I can't blame Nintendo or PlayStation or Sony or Asus, like I just showed you on this. It happens. It's product. From a consumer side, it sucks. From the business side, it sucks. But we can't match 100% with 100% demand, and you will be stupid ridiculous to match 110% just to supply the 100%. I just realized that Switch production and Breath of the Wild numbers to profit are the same. Oh, okay. Well, they're the same. Again, Nintendo, like I said, that's one thing they do. If the game doesn't sell well and they give it the amount of budget, like I said, it doesn't bring the company down. They just say, okay, we got to reassess what's going on. That's why it's sad that Star Fox is what it is. They had a high hopes for it. I guarantee they made the budget back, but Nintendo's still gonna double think. Okay, people, we had the father of the game made the game. We did this to the game, and the internet still shunned it because they can't learn the controls. So we're gonna put Star Fox back on the shelf for a while and see what happens. Maybe they will do a game for the Switch. We don't know. I don't know myself either. I do not know the game lineup. Again, I know I only because when I was over in Japan a year ago, I was knowing Wii U products. I know they're working on Zelda for the next console. I know they're working on a 3D Mario game because Shigeru Miyamoto said it himself as well. But other than that, we'll see what happens. I know there was 7 years worth of games they were doing for the next. So last year, so they were working on 7 years worth of games. So that's a lot of games they're working on for the future. So 1 year's already gone. So we have 6 more years of games coming out. And remember, people say, "Oh, Nintendo don't have the games." As I said, this year they produced 8 games. No publisher, no development companies doing that. Last year they did 9 games. No company, no publisher did that. It might not be your cup of tea, but you can't tell me the fact that this physical or digital thing is not on. I can't play. It's not a vaporware. It's there. It is there. So I get an next example. Hell, you remember my example about the car? Same thing. Look what's going on with Tesla. Tesla 3. They're out 2 years on the production of the Tesla pre-orders, and they're making you drop a lot of money to get that on a Tesla 3. Are they going to meet 100% demand with that? No, they're not. Do they have the pre-order set up as Terminator Juice asked for? Yes, they do. But they're not. But they know they know because people want to send them out of the product. They're not gonna match 100% with 100%. It would be ridiculous. Because they would lose their ass on that. So I'm just giving an example of that. But other than that, like I said, there's another video that's going to be uploaded talking about Bethesda and their nonsense. And I basically talked about the usual game industry dying. And I just a concern of what Grim Kapachi had in his video because he said something. So That video right there, it should be up tonight or tomorrow. I guess it's getting uploaded. I don't know. I have it set up as private, so I don't know when I want to release it. But other than that, again, the off-air chat, 11 o'clock. Brownie basically will be 12 o'clock for you since time has changed. Other than that, peace out, people. Remember, there's no perfect game out there. What's perfect to you is not perfect to me. What's perfect to me is not perfect to you. Simply play those games on any console and enjoy them. Peace out.